Right. So, Cindy, I'll let you speak for yourself and Fragomen and the items that you've heard. But then, just very simply put, what you're talking about is some retroactive policy where it goes back in time, changes the deal on all the poor investors that have already committed. There are instances where this has been considered, but it would be an absolute catastrophe for everybody involved just trying to enact retroactive policy, to go into somebody's wallet and try and rip out more money when you already made a deal and you already had conditions and you already have agreements with banks, you already have agreements with insurance companies, you already have agreements with contractors and people that are relying on that investment. USCIS would not only get sued by all of the investors, which is tens of thousands, they would be sued by every regional center, they'd be sued by every immigration firm, they'd be sued by the construction contractors, the banks, everybody involved. USCIS would receive tens of thousands of lawsuits for what? They don't gain anything. So the IRS, they run into the same things too, where they try to talk about changing tax policy. And if they go retroactive into the past and try and make you refile a tax return for years past, it would be just absolutely catastrophic for them to just administer. It's not realistic. And also, any sort of retroactive language has been dropped from any of the current policy regulation proposals. So there's no hint of retroactive policy at this point.
And some of the most basic tenets of immigration law, which is federal, law, is actually, it's usually from the time of filing, like Colin said, like the TEA. Everything really happens at the time of filing the law as it stands. It's very, very rare for anything to apply retroactively. And secondly, to Colin's point, any law that needs to get passed, it's administrative law. What immigration is. It needs to follow the Administrative Procedures Acts, which means there's comment, notice periods. That's why those things always get dropped. A few months before the law is even contemplated, they actually need to publish it to the public. And attorneys like me and my firm will raise hell if something like that happens, right? So that's what happens. So there is a process for the laws to really change. So it's really unlikely. And in my 18 years of practice, I've really not seen that much be retroactive. And usually when it's usually to the benefit of immigration needs rather than to the detriment, because it's very difficult to actually get something passed that would be detrimental.